Okay, so we're just going to start in a seated position today. So for my fellow block lovers, if you guys like to use a block just to get a bit more height and a bit more length in the spine, you can sit on a block, just rooting down through the seat bones. Oh, we have a doggy practicing with us today. And just close down the eyes. We'll just start off with the eyes closed. The palms facing up. Maybe you want them in the center of your lap, or maybe you want them on the knees, wherever just feels comfortable. And we're going to just start with some subtle breath work just to arrive on the mat and leave the day that you've had behind. So we're working with Ujjayi breath today. So it's the oceanic breath. If it feels comfortable to do so, we inhale and exhale through the nose and create a slight constriction in the back of the throat with the tongue. So you can put the tongue on the top of your palate. And as you inhale and exhale, starting to make that breath audible, like an oceanic sound, or maybe a Darth Vader sound. Just imagining the breath moving like a wave, coming in towards the shore as you inhale, and going out towards the sea as you exhale. Inhale and exhale, so no pauses in between. The inhale naturally becomes the exhale, and the exhale naturally becomes the inhale. So just breathing in and out like this through the nose, making it audible. And then, like we always do, we're going to move through this practice linking breath to movement. We inhale generally to prepare for a posture. And as we exhale, we just inquire if there's any more space to go deeper. Let's do 2 more breaths like this. Last breath, inhale. And exhale. We're going to keep that breath, but we're going to start to add some motion. So inhale here in stillness. And exhale, let's drop the chin towards the chest. Inhale, let's take the right ear to the right shoulder. And exhale, let's come back through center. Inhale, let's take it over to the left side. Exhale, coming back to center. Inhale, right. And exhale, center. To the left. And back to center. Just going through 1 more on each side at your own pace. And then coming back to center. On your next inhale, let's circle sweep the arms up towards the sky. And as we exhale, we're going to take the right palm down to the mat and we're going to lean over to the right, feeling a nice stretch in the left side of the body. And then with each breath, maybe just finding a gentle undulation here. So inhale to lift slightly. Exhale, see if you can go a bit deeper. Inhale. Exhale, seeing if you can go a bit deeper, drawing that elbow maybe towards the mat. And on your next inhale, let's take it over to the left. Inhale. Exhale, fold to the left. And then that slight undulation here. Coming back to that oceanic breath. One more inhale here. And exhale. Let's place that right hand on your left knee. I'm going to take that left arm behind you, creating a column behind the spine. Inhale to grow tall. Exhale to twist. Inhale, growing taller. Exhale, seeing if you can twist a bit deeper. Left, gaze goes over left shoulder. One more breath here. On your next inhale, let's cartwheel the left arm over and cross it over the right knee. So both arms are crossed and at the knees, and let's just fold forward. One more breath here. And releasing that right arm, let's take that behind you and let's start to twist over the right shoulder. Inhaling to grow tall, exhaling to twist. Inhaling and exhaling. One more breath here. And coming back to center, placing both hands on the knees, palms facing down. Let's just start to do some barrel rolls with the torso. So curling the spine as you go backwards, and then opening the chest as you come forwards. Then pausing in the center, and let's take it the other way. Maybe adding a gentle roll of the neck in a circle. And then coming back to center. If you're sat on a block, just moving that out of your way, we're going to come to tabletop. So hands planted beneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. We're going to inhale and drop the belly, take the gaze up, your cow. Exhale, curling the spine like an angry cat. Gaze goes towards the navel. Inhale, drop the belly, look up. Exhale, curling the spine. Inhale once more to drop the belly. And exhale, curling the spine. And then just starting to turn that motion into some circles in one direction. And then the other. Feeling into any niggles in the hips, maybe the knees. Working out those nooks and crannies and clicks. And then coming back to stillness. We're going to plant the left hand down. We're going to inhale, take the right arm up towards the sky. The gaze can go up with it. Inhale here. And then exhale, let's thread that right arm through the gap, gently bringing your right shoulder down to the mat. To exhale. Inhale, we take it back up. Exhale, threading the needle. Inhale, one more up towards the sky. And exhale. This time we're going to thread the needle and we're going to gently rest our right shoulder and our right ear down towards the mat, maybe using your left hand to just support you. And just staying here for a few breaths. Maybe the gaze goes up towards the ceiling. And if you want to play with balance, maybe that left leg straightens. So you're creating a weird little tripod shape with your body. One more breath here. And then exhale, coming back to tabletop. Take it to the other side. Resetting your tabletop. Right arm, right palm is planted. We're going to lift the left arm up towards the sky. Exhale to twist and thread that needle. Inhale, taking that left arm back up. And exhale to thread. One more. Inhale, taking the left arm up. And exhale, let's thread through this time and just find some stillness on that left shoulder and the left cheek. Maybe extending the right leg this time to play with a little bit of balance. And then coming back to center, we're going to reset. So coming back to your tabletop, we're going to just start to warm up the core with some fists of fire. So left leg is going to go out long behind you, right arm out long in front of you. Inhale, we find length, pointing the left toes away from the right fingertips. And then exhale, bringing that right elbow to the left knee, we crunch. Inhale, find length. Exhale to crunch. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale to tap, nice and slow. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, tap. One more on the side. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale to tap. And then coming back to reset and take it to the other side. We take our right leg out this time, left arm out long. Inhale, stretching in opposite directions. And exhale to tap. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, tap, drawing the back of the spine up towards the ceiling. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale. Two more. One more. And exhale to tap. And then coming back down to reset. We're going to curl the toes under. We're going to draw the seat bones towards the heels, and then we're going to lift them up into your first downward facing dog. And just start to pedal out the feet. Maybe doing little gentle twists, bending the right knee over towards the left, and the left knee over towards the right. Slowly starting to pedal and walk your dog. Starting to bring the toes up towards the palms, little step by little step. And then when we get to the top, let's just hang out here in ragdoll. So taking opposite elbows, little bend in the knee, relaxing the neck, nodding the head yes, and shaking the head no. And then releasing the hands. Let's start to roll up vertebra by vertebra. Neck and head comes up last. Coming into Tadasana with your feet hip distance apart and the palms facing forward. Let's inhale, circle sweep the arms up towards the sky. Going to take the right hand, is going to grab onto the left wrist. And we're going to inhale, reaching up tall. Exhale, taking that little bend over to the right. On each exhale, just seeing if you can take that stretch a little bit deeper. And on your next inhale, let's come back to center. Switch the hands, so left hand takes right wrist. Inhale, reaching up towards the ceiling, and then exhale, let's take it over to the left. Staying here for a couple of breaths as we explore if we can go a bit deeper. Then coming back to center, release the hands down, palms facing forward, feet are hip distance apart, closing down the eyes or just softening the gaze. Start to rock forwards and backwards, just feeling the tip toes holding the weight and then the heels. Maybe rocking from side to side. Just taking a moment here to set an intention for today's practice. So the mantra or saying that I invite you to work with today is progress, or practice rather, practice makes progress. Practice makes progress. If you're still rocking side to side, forward and back, just coming back to stillness in the center, opening up the eyes. Let's start to go through our sun salutation. So we're going to inhale, circle sweep the arms up to the sky. Exhale the hands through heart center, hands plant on the mat. Inhale to a halfway lift, flattening the back. Exhale, plant the hands down, step the right foot back, step the left foot back, coming into our plank. Just feeling your plank. So maybe rocking forward and back on the tiptoes, starting to wake up that core and the upper arm strength. And then coming back to stillness. Let's all drop the knees and lower the chest down as we exhale. Inhale, lift the chest to your cobra. Exhale, taking the tailbone back to the heels, curl the toes under, rising up into your downward facing dog. So we're going to stay here for 3 breaths. Option to find stillness or option to pedal out the dog. If you still feel like you're warming up the backs of the hamstrings. 2 more breaths here. Inhale and exhale through the nose. Inhale and exhale. On your next inhale, let's bend the knees, look to the front of the mat. Step your right foot up, step your left foot up. Inhale, halfway lift with your flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Little bend in the knees as we take the arms up towards the sky. Exhale, hands through heart center. And then lowering them down to Tadasana. Let's go again. Inhale, circle, sweep the arms up to the sky. Exhale, hands through heart center, planting them on the mat. Inhale, looking up, flattening that back. Exhale, plant the hands, step the right foot back, step the left foot back, coming back to our plank. And just again, playing with that forwards and backwards motion. And then option to drop the knees or option to lower through plank this time as we exhale. Inhale to a cobra or your upward facing dog with the thighs off the mat. Exhale, downward facing dog. We're going to be here for 1 breath. Inhale and exhale. On your next inhale, let's take that right foot up to the sky, 3-legged dog. Exhale, let's bring the knee forward as we hover here. And then exhale, let's plant that right foot down. Drop the back heel. We're rising up into warrior 1. We're going to be here for 3 breaths. So inhale, bring tall through the spine. Exhale, maybe bending that right knee a little deeper. Inhale, squaring the hips. Exhale, pushing through that left back foot, the blade's edge. One more breath, inhale. And exhale, let's plant the hands down, step the right foot back, and an option to drop the knees or lower through chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. One breath here to reset. And exhale. Inhale, left leg goes up this time. Exhale, let's bring the knee forward and just hover here in this hovering plank. And then exhale, let's lower that left foot at the top of the mat and reset for warrior one, dropping that back heel. Nice wide stance as we rise up to warrior one. Inhale. Exhale, seeing if you can bend that front knee. 2 more breaths. Last breath here. And exhale, let's plant the hands down, step the left foot back and flow through your version of Vinyasa. Inhaling to your upward facing dog or cobra. Exhaling, curl the toes under, rising up into your downward facing dog. Inhale here for 3 counts. Two more. One more breath. And exhale. Bending the knees, look towards the front. This time you can hop or jump or stay with your stepping. We're going to the top. We inhale to our halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees. Let's take the arms up towards the sky. Exhale, Tadasana. Those were our sun salutation A's. We're going to move through some sun salutation B's. So as we inhale, we're going to sit into our chair pose. Nobody's favorite. 2 more breaths here. Inhale. Exhale, see if you can place the weight in the heels of the feet. Inhale, gazes through the gap between your 2 hands. And exhale, see if you can drop the seat a little bit deeper. 1 more inhale. And exhale, let's forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, stepping back to plank. Option to drop the knees or option to go straight to downward facing dog. We're going through our Vinyasa. And when you're ready, meeting us in downward facing dog. 1 breath here. Inhale, right leg goes up towards the sky. Exhale, let's plant it down at the top of the mat. Coming back to our warrior one, dropping that back foot, rising up to warrior one. We're just here for 1 breath this time. 1.5, inhale. And exhale, let's open up to warrior two. Just taking a moment to adjust your warrior two. So maybe heel toeing that front foot in so it's in line with the back foot's arch. Just checking you can see your big toe at the front. And then settling in here for 2 more breaths. One more breath. And exhale. Let's straighten that front leg. We're going to go into triangle now. So if you want your block, we're going to inhale, reach that right arm forward, and then bring that right hand down towards the right shin. Left arm goes up towards the sky in that nice long line. Option to use the block on any of the settings. We're going to be here for 2 more breaths. So as we inhale, see if you can reach that left arm a little bit higher. So you start to feel a lifting out of that right hand. One more breath, inhale. Exhale, just little bend in that front knee. We're gonna reverse. The right arm reaches up towards the sky, left hand comes down to meet the left leg, and then we're gonna straighten that front leg when you get there. Inhale to find length. Exhale, see if you can maybe start to open the right side of the body, reaching that right hand over the right ear. One more breath. And exhale, bringing the hands to the hips. We're going to bump the back foot up a little bit, so shortening the stance. Both feet are shining forward. We're going to revolve our triangle. So right hand on the lower right back, left arm up towards the sky. Inhale, reaching out of those hips. And exhale, bringing that left hand down to meet the left shin or a block, maybe playing with the block being on the outside of your right foot. And then as we exhale, just seeing if you can twist a bit more open towards the right. The feeling both legs are activated, activating above that your right knee, so that thigh. Maybe taking that right arm up towards the sky, opening the chest. One more breath here, seeing if you can maybe take the gaze up towards that right hand. And then exhale, let's plant both hands down on the mat and step back into plank. Option to come to downward facing dog or flush it through with your vinyasa in plank or lowering down with the knees on the mat. Inhale to a cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's take one breath here as we reset. Coming back to that Ujjayi breath. Inhale, left leg goes up towards the sky. Exhale, let's bring that left knee forward and plant that left foot at the front of the mat. Dropping your back foot, we rise up into warrior one. We're just here for one breath. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, let's cartwheel the arms open to warrior two. Adjusting your base if you need to. And then drawing the shoulders away from the ears. Gaze goes to the middle finger at the front of your left hand. Softening the gaze. Inhale. Exhale, see if you can bend that front knee a little bit deeper. One more breath. Inhale. And exhale, let's straighten that left leg. On your next inhale, let's reach that left arm as far forward as possible. And then bring that left hand down to meet that left shin. Right arm goes up towards the sky. Option to use your blocks. Inhale, lifting out. Lifting up and out of that left hand if you can. One more breath. And as you exhale, little bend in that front knee, we're going to reverse your triangle. So bringing that right hand down to the right leg, left arm up to the sky, and then straightening that left leg. Inhale, find length. Exhale, maybe taking that left arm over the left ear. One more inhale. And exhale, let's bring the hands to the hips. Bumping that back foot up the mat. Both toes and hips shining forward. Left hand comes to the lower left back. Right arm goes up to the sky. Inhale, reaching up. And exhaling, let's bring that right hand down to a block or the mat or your shin as we open up the chest to the left-hand side of the room. Staying here. Or maybe taking that left arm up towards the sky. Maybe taking the gaze up towards the sky. One more breath, inhale. And exhale, let's plant both hands down, stepping back to plank. Option to go to downward facing dog or flush it through with a vinyasa. And then coming back to downward facing dog, let's take 3 breaths. So let's inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Inhale, pushing through the fingertips. Exhale, drawing the heels down towards the mat. One more breath. Inhale, finding length in the spine, drawing the tailbone up towards the sky. And exhale. On your next inhale, let's bend the knees, look towards the front of the mat, making your way to the top with a walk, a hop, a skip, or a jump. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, we're going to dip the hips down, coming back to everyone's favorite, chair pose. Let's hold here for 3 breaths. Inhale. Exhale, see if you can sit a bit deeper. Inhale. Exhale, see if you can draw the shoulders away from the ears. One more breath. And exhale, let's rise up to standing. Let's shake it out. Chair pose always seems to make sun salutations that much more fiery. So well done. We'll do another round of sun salutation B, but I won't make you hold chair. So we'll inhale and we'll sit back into chair and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, coming to your plank. Option to drop the knees or lower down through your plank. Inhaling to your upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. One breath here. Inhale. And exhale. On your next inhale, let's take the right leg up towards the sky. Exhale, let's hover the knee up towards the chest and then plant that right foot down. We're in our low lunge, looking towards the front of your mat. You're going to place your block, if you're using one or just using the mat, but either way, we're going to plant our hand outside the right foot. Drop that back foot, the left foot down. As we peel open, left arm goes up towards the sky. So we're in our extended side angle. Option to stay here or option to bring it up with the elbow onto the knee. Wherever you are, starting to take that left arm overhead. So you're creating a nice long line from your left toes to your left fingertips. And start to see if you can shine the chest up towards the sky. One more breath. Inhale. And exhale. And we're going to place this block a little bit further forward in front of you as we walk that right hand up towards the block or the mat. And we're going to start to open up into our half moon. So opening the hips towards the left side of the room. Left foot is flexed. Left hip is stacked on top of the right hip. And the left arm can make its way up towards the sky, or maybe keeping it on the hip. Whatever feels better for you today. And then maybe see if you can start to play with coming on your fingertips. So you're starting to put the weight more into your legs rather than the hand. One more breath. Inhale. Exhale. Let's bring both hands down to the mat. And we're going to bring that left foot down to the mat. Again, a shorter stance So we're coming into our pyramid. So both feet are pointing towards the front, the hips are squared. Inhale, we're going to flatten the back. Exhale, we're going to forward fold. Inhale, flattening the back. Exhale, the forward fold. Moving through one more breath cycle like that. Inhale. And then exhale. Let's forward fold and just find some stillness here. Relaxing the neck. Relaxing the shoulders. Little bend in the knee if that feels better for your hamstrings. And planting both hands down, let's step that back foot back and come back into our downward facing dog. Inhale here. Exhale. And let's take it to the left-hand side. Left leg goes up as we inhale. Exhale, let's bring the knee forward and hover here. And then let's plant that front foot down. Drop that back heel, rising up. Oh no, sorry, we're not rising up. We are staying in our low lunge. And then what are we going to do? We are going to do our extended side angle. Thank you, honey. So bringing the left hand down to the mat or a block. Going to peel the right arm up towards the sky, extended side angle. Option to take that left elbow to the left knee. And then starting to take that the right arm over the left ear. So you're creating that nice long diagonal line. Inhale. And as you exhale, see if you can shine that chest up towards the sky. Inhale. And exhale. One more breath. Inhale. And exhale. We're going to take half moon on the left-hand side. So starting to walk your block to the top left edge of the mat. Coming onto your left standing leg. Left hand is on the block or on a mat. And then just starting to open up those hips, shining towards the right side of the room. Right foot is flexed. Maybe the hand stays on the hip. Maybe the right arm starts to reach up. And then maybe playing with coming out of that, bringing the weight out of that left hand. Little bend in that left knee if it feels good and more stable. One more breath. And then exhale, let's bring both hands down to the mat. We're going to bring that right foot down, preparing for pyramid. So that nice short stance. Feet are hip distance apart. Feet are shining forward. We inhale to flatten the back. Exhale, let's fold. Inhale, gaze goes forward as we flatten the back. Exhale, forward fold. One more inhale. And exhale. This time we'll stay here for a couple of breaths. Relaxing the neck. Maybe nodding the head yes and no. One more breath here. And exhale, then planting the hands down. Let's step back into downward facing dog. Let's take 3 breaths here. Option to come to child's pose if you need to catch your breath. Two more breaths. Pushing through the fingertips. Exhale, shining the armpits towards each other like you've got headlamps underneath the armpits and you're trying to make them point towards each other. One more breath, inhale and exhale. Then let's start to take the hands walking step by step back towards the feet. So we're coming to the back of the mat. And let's heel toe the feet out to mat width apart. And then placing the hands into the mat, putting the weight into the hands. We're going to just start to bend the knees and drop the hips down towards the mat. Coming into our yogi squat. So option here as well to use blocks if you find that you struggle to get the ankles down towards the floor, or you could even just sit on the block. Coming to sit in the block, using the elbows to push the knees away, palms are together. We're gonna do some glute work. So we're gonna inhale here to prepare, and exhale, we're gonna go up as slow as you can. Glute and thighs, I might add. And then when we get to the top, let's inhale here. And exhale, let's bend the knees and start to lower back down. One more, inhale. Exhale to go up. Inhale. And exhale to go back down. And moving the block if you had it. Heel toeing the feet back into hips distance apart. It's just walk the hands back forward, coming into our plank. So we're here in our plank. Option to drop the knees. We're going to lower down to my count. So nice and slowly activating the core. We're going to lower down for 5, 4, 3, tucking the elbows in, 2, and 1. Coming down to rest on your belly. Hands are up at the shoulders. We're going to inhale and we're going to start to lift the chest off the mat. And then hovering here, we'll see if we can take the hands off the mat. So we're using the lower back strength and core to hold your chest up. On each inhale, see if you can take it a little bit higher. And exhale, let's bring it back down, making a little cushion with your hands. Wiggling the hips from side to side. And then let's take it to locust. So arms out long, either side of your body, palms facing up. We're going to inhale, take the shoulders and the chest off the mat, and then take the legs off the mat. So we're flying in the air like a locust or a skydiver. Inhale, see if you can lift the legs and the chest a bit higher. Exhale. 2 more. Inhale to lift. Exhale. Last one. Inhale, see if you can lift it as high as you possibly can. And exhale, let's bring the hands to the cheek again. Placing a different cheek on your hands this time. Give your hips a little wiggle. And then option to go with locust pose again, or option to take it to bow. If you're going to take it to bow, we're going to bend at the knees, grab on the outside of the ankles. So if you're going into locust or bow, we're going to inhale to lift chest and legs off the mat. Inhale to lift a bit higher. If you're in bow, drawing the knees towards each other like you've got a block in between the knees. One more breath here. And exhale, let's come back down, creating that cushion for the cheek, giving the hips a little wiggle. And then taking one arm out long in front of you, you're just going to pivot onto your back, rolling onto your back to come to bridge. The knees bent and pointing up towards the sky. start to walk the heels towards the seat bones and just see if you can give your ankles a little tickle. Then inhale, we're going to push down through the heels of the feet as we lift the pelvis and the lower back and the middle back. And then when we've got a nice long line from the shoulders to the knees, maybe staying here or starting to walk the hands in towards each other, interlacing the fingers and starting to walk onto the shoulders. Activating the glutes, the thighs, squeezing the knees together as if you had a block in between your knees. Inhale to take the hips a little higher. Exhale. One more breath here. And as you exhale, release the grip of the hands if you've got them. I'm going to slowly start to lower down from the top of the back through the middle, dropping the hips last, and then placing the feet mat distance apart, bringing the knees in together, placing the one hand on the heart and one hand on the belly, coming back to your breath. Maybe closing the eyes if that feels good. And then let's reset for a second round. So heel toe the feet back, the hips distance apart, walking them back towards the seat bones and resetting. We'll inhale, push through the heels as you lift the hips, coming into that nice diagonal line. Staying here, pushing down with the palms, or option to interlace the fingers and start to walk up onto the shoulders. Wherever you are, you're pushing down through the heels as you lift the hips. Inhale, pushing through the heels. And exhale, releasing the hands if you've got them interlaced. Let's lower down from the top of the spine through to the hips. Placing the feet mat distance again, hand on heart and belly. And just holding your torso here. Feeling the breath rising and falling in your torso. Maybe you can feel your heartbeat. And then we're going to take one more back bend. So if you have wheel in your practice, you can make your way there. Otherwise, coming to another boat pose. If you're going to boat, just bringing the feet back to hips distance apart. Inhale, we lift the hips. One more breath, inhale. And exhale. Just start to windscreen wipe the knees from one side to the other, neutralizing the spine. And then bringing the knees into the chest, taking the hands around the knees. Just give yourself a nice hug, bringing your nose towards the knees. And then rolling onto one side, let's make our way to child's pose. Bringing the forehead to the mat, maybe taking a wide-legged variation, so knees are wide, toes are touching, and you start to draw your belly in between the gap in the thighs, drawing the tailbone down towards the heels of the feet. Maybe start to roll the forehead from left to right, just feeling a little massage in the forehead. And then starting to walk the hands back up towards the knees. We'll cross the ankles and roll over, bringing our bum down to the mat. And we'll take both legs out in front of us. So both legs are straight. We're going to inhale the arms up as we lift out of the hip. Exhale, start to melt forward. Nice long spine. And bringing the hands wherever they comfortably arrive. So maybe that's the shins or the thighs or the feet. So we're drawing the nose towards the big toes. Nice long spine. Inhale. And exhale, see if you can fold a bit deeper in that space. Inhale. And exhale. One more here. Inhale. And exhale. And bending that right knee, we're going to come back up. So spine is straight. Bending that right knee, we're going to bring the right foot into the left thigh. The right knee is bent and out towards the right. Inhale the arms up to the sky. Exhale, hinging over that left leg and grabbing whatever part of your leg, foot, ankle you can reach comfortably. Relaxing the neck here. And slowly rolling up, let's take it to the other side. So right leg goes straight, left leg bends, left foot tucks into that right thigh. We inhale to lift, exhale to fold. Relaxing the neck, drawing the head towards the knee. And then slowly coming back up. Let's bend both knees. And we're just going to elegantly or not so elegantly roll to face the other side of the mat. So your feet are pointed towards the back of the mat. And we're going to put the hands up, knees are bent. We're just going to lower down nice and slowly, activating the core. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come to lie flat on the mat. Getting ready for an inversion of your choice. So if you have shoulder stand in your practice, you can go there now. If you'd like to do dead bug with the feet up towards the ceiling, arms up towards the ceiling, maybe you have a wall near you where you can put the legs up against the wall. Or if you want to do dead bug with a bit of height with your block, we go to the medium setting and place the block underneath the sacrum. So just at the base of the spine, a nice flat part, giving yourself a little bit more lift. Legs go up towards the ceiling, hands go up towards the ceiling. And just start to soften the gaze. Maybe you want to close the eyes. We'll be here for about 10 breaths. Five more breaths. Slowly starting to bring the feet down, bending the knees, placing the feet on the mat, taking away that block if you had it. And then drawing the knees in towards the body. Let's take a happy baby. So placing the hands outside the blades of the feet. Starting to draw the knees towards the armpits and drawing the tailbone down towards the mat so you feel the whole length of the spine on the mat. And then maybe starting to find a gentle rock from side to side. Maybe straightening one leg as you bend the other. And then coming to Shavasana. So just grabbing any any cushions, jumpers, or anything that you need. Just starting to feel yourself melting into the mat. So just adjust the shoulder blades if you need to, making sure they feel as nice and flat on the mat as possible. Toes just flop out to the side, palms are up towards the sky. And then just doing a little body scan from the feet up towards the head. So just noticing the feet supported by the mat, the toes just relax, the ankles relax, calves supported by the mat, the hips, releasing any tension in the hip. With each exhale, just see if you can relax a little bit deeper, just melt into the mat. Noticing the belly rising and falling with the breath. The chest rising and falling with the breath. The shoulders melting into the mat. The neck relaxes. The jaw relaxes. Feeling the back of the head supported by the mat. Noticing if you can just relax the forehead. Getting into a deep relaxation for the next few moments. Starting to become aware of the space around you again. Four walls around you, any sounds in the distance. Starting to wake up the body, wiggling the fingers and the toes. Taking the arms overhead, giving yourself a nice morning stretch. And then slowly, when you're ready, just start to roll on one side. You can keep the eyes closed and just take a moment on your side. And then when you're ready, with the eyes still closed, just making your way up to a seated position. Bringing the hands to heart center. Just coming back to the intention that we set at the beginning of the practice. Practice makes progress. Taking a moment to acknowledge how showing up on your mat, showing up for yourself, all counts towards progress for your mind and your body. And taking a moment to set an intention to take this mantra off the mat this week, knowing that everything that you do is progress. Acknowledging yourself for this practice, making time for yourself today. We bow the head. Namaste.